1, 2, 3, come on!
Well, hello there, and welcome to my new channel, Let's Think Geek. Guessing you already know that because you're here, and if you're here, you found it. Don't know how you knew that unless I told you or unless you found it somewhere, but hey, thanks for finding it. Thanks for showing up. Very glad to have you. I'm your host, With The Flow. You can follow me on all the various social medias at WithTheFlow69. See if you can figure out the joke. Message me if you can. It'll be a good time. But this is my new channel, Let's Think Geek, and this is the first video to the new channel. How crazy, right? I digress. Getting a little excited for you. I know, you're excited to see me. I'm excited to see you. It's gonna be a great time. So, without any further ado, pomp, circumstance, hoopla, let's get into what this whole shtick is gonna be about and what we're gonna be doing here, folks. The big thing we're gonna be doing here is, as the title would suggest, we think. And we're going to think using certain mediums at times. The main one being geekdom. My own little catchphrase, Geekdom, geekdom. And that's a term I use to really encompass anything in the geek sphere. From our main man Deadpool and the Marvel comics, you got your Captain Americas, your Spider-Mans, to your DC counterparts and their mirrors there, to Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, really anything that you've been called a geek for in your life, we'll probably end up talking about it sometime here. Games, tabletop, card, RPG, video, we're going to talk about a lot. Because the thing is all of these forms of media, these mediums, they're delivery vessels for a way to think and a way to learn. Yeah, they're entertaining, and a lot of ways we learn are inherently entertaining. We're told stories, we tell stories, we watch things, we read things, but these are also our forms of entertainment. And to me, the best way to learn is to make it enjoyable, to learn with something that I enjoy, to learn with something that means something more impactful to me. And, you know, I've learned a lot from the various geekdoms out there. I've learned how to think about things differently, how to live my life, approach situations, do things, interpret information in wholly new ways because of fictional, made-up, pretend characters, places, things, events, because it puts it in a new context. It puts it in a new lens that maybe you hadn't thought of it that way in your real life, in your day-to-day life. And something like Star Wars, like Marvel, can let you, DC, not to cast shade, it's just never been my biggest bag. I dabble in DC, but I always enjoyed the writing style of Marvel better for some reason. Probably just what I started on, and that bias never fully washed out. We'll get to that. We'll do the whole Marvel DC thing. We'll do the Marvel, we'll do the DC, we'll do all of it. Imagine, blah, 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 independent guys. But back to our main point of thinking. You know, sometimes when you view a real-world situation, it can be very easy to be overwhelmed in it, to be too close to it. Politics, finance, drug addiction. There are all sorts of topics that can be very hard to explore and grapple with and understand. But when you see them rephrased in a fictional way, and there's a layer of removal and impersonalization, it's a lot easier to comprehend these bigger concepts at times. These bigger ideas and notions of life, of philosophy, of all sorts of different things. I could probably list all sorts of lessons and things like that that you can learn in these instances, and that's the meat and potatoes of this channel, is we're going to talk about those things. What makes you think that way? What can you learn from some of these lessons? One of the big ones for me is right over here, Star Wars. Those of you that know me, that have followed any of me anywhere for any period of time, you know your boy talks about Star Wars a lot. It came into my life at a relatively hard point when I was significantly younger, you know, adolescent years and such. And I was growing up when the prequel trilogy came out. And when I saw episode 1, there were things, for as much as people love to hate that movie, that I learned first watch through that changed a lot for me. The the ability to identify with where I was in life, with characters on screen in a whole new way, in a whole new light, was groundbreaking and earth shattering. And I fell in love. And as I started to learn more and understand more, I learned a lot about myself, about concepts and ideas that had always been packaged to me as religions, as lifestyles, as so on and so forth, that just were never my thing. I'm not the biggest conformist guy. I don't do well when you say you have to do this. I like to find out for myself. Most of the time, to my own pain and chagrin, I have to learn things the hard way because that's just how I do. But Star Wars changed a lot for me, and it changed the way I consumed. We'll go with pop culture, what I saw, comics, so on and so forth. And I really started reading things like Batman with a more critical eye, understanding that there were much bigger messages at play here. There were much bigger themes than just simply a guy in tights kicking the crap out of the bad guys, which was cool to young me. But as I got older, I started to understand there was struggle there. There was loss, there was grief, there was triumph, and there were various schools of thought and philosophy explored and delved through Batman, through Superman, that helped me understand what was going on in my world better, what was going on in me better. And that's what this channel is about, are those type of things. When you can find something that you connect to in such a way that it's life altering. And I don't mean, you go out and you get Star Wars tattoos, but sometimes it's a simple quote that can change the way you perceived information for a long time, or a movie scene, a line of dialogue, a certain panel, a thought conveyed that can really change what you're feeling internally from wholly alone or negative or a myriad of things to feeling connected, feeling like there's a possibility that someone understands, that there's someone else who could appreciate what you're going through, where you're coming from. And you might learn new ways of articulating what you feel, thinking about what you feel, even grappling with what you feel. And to go back to my favorite, Star Wars, that's one of the big things that it's done for me. The teachings that they espouse as Jedi or Sith teachings, I've learned genuine lessons from. And one of the sooner videos that we're going to be delving into is the Jedi and the Sith Code, which both lay out two very strict and seemingly opposing mindsets that are actually quite similar. And there's a lot that can be parsed out of these very simple things. Fear is the path to the dark side. There's a scene in episode 1 where Yoda looks at young Anakin and goes, fear leads to hate. Hate leads to anger, and anger leads to suffering. And like that one quote, I cannot tell you the tens of thousands of times I have genuinely used that mantra as a personal meditation to deal with a stressful situation, a painful situation, a loss, a failure, anything along those lines, because that's genuine talk. That's a lesson that can be learned. There's a lot more that we'll parse out of that in the future, definitely, but just want to kind of leave you with some examples and kind of start building you in that direction of what we're going for here. We're going to be talking about what we think. There will be a mixture of various geek cultures, real life philosophy, writers, as fun and entertaining as they can be, as well as pop culture references, celebrity quotes, all sorts of things, because at the end of the day, inspiration can come from anywhere around us. The music we listen to, the things we watch, the people we talk to, and that's what we're going to delve into. We're going to think about this geek culture, things that has made us all nerds, geeks, this is, that's, the others, because at the end of the day, we're all geeks. We all geek for something. Jocks geek for sports. Star Wars fans geek for Star Wars. Trekkies, you all geek for Trek, and that's cool. Geek hard in your life. Go after something. Find something that makes you ponder these questions, that lets you explore these in such a way that you're approaching them from a new mindset. The worst thing you can do as a human is stop learning. Stop trying to understand the world around you. Stop trying to explore it. Once you've done that, you've given up the ride, folks. So don't. Keep learning, keep exploring. Watch with a critical eye. Approach with an open mind. And see what you can get out of something, even if it's simply the enjoyment. Because I'm not going to try to sell you some hollow theories at some point of, well, you know, Suicide Squad was just this deep meaning for the technical anarcho. No. It was an entertaining movie. It was fun to watch, and that's what I personally got out of Suicide Squad was entertainment. It was fun. There were monsters, there were heroes, there were girls that kicked ass, there were guys that kicked ass, and you come away having a good time. That's the other thing that we'll try to learn together on this is don't take it all so seriously. And if you want to have that much control over your projects, go make them. Be the creator. Geek hard for your own life. So, yeah, that's kind of what we'll be doing here. Probably get some intermittent vlogs of me just doing this or that, tinkering, building things, because somewhat am handsy with things, like to build, like to do things. We're going to go on adventures. Probably get to see some of the beautiful state that I live in and see some of the places that inspire me where I go to ponder this kind of stuff. Probably get to come on a few car rides with me over time, see where I drive, see what that's like, hear the craziness that I ponder while I roam the state, roam the country, and have a great time. I look forward to sharing with you guys. I look forward to exploring more with you and finding out what can still be learned, what I've missed, what you've caught, what I can teach you, and everything in between. Thank you so much. I appreciate you suffering through this with me, and I look forward to so many more adventures with you guys. You have a great night.